Okay, cool. Right. Okay, what's up, boys and girls? I'm here with Wolf Girl, and today we're going to be going through the new PM Diary announcements that came out yesterday. We've got a lot of stuff to go through today. We've got Cash Shop announcement, the PvP system changes, and lots of other little things that they have changed or adjusted towards our liking based on the feedback from CBT1. So, say hello, Wolf Girl.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Crazy intro, crazy. So, oh my god, let me just... Oh my, is that as quiet as my music can be? Okay, that's as quiet as we're going. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the PM Diary step by step, and we're just going to go through what we think about and have a little discussion. So, this is PM Diary here, guys. I'm not going to have it up for the entire stream. If you do want to see it, it is on the Black Desert Online forums. It's just in the announcements section, so you can go through and have a full read of it if you want to. But so let's start with the very start. The first thing on it is, this is not really much to discuss, it's just a bit of information. The family and character name reservations for those that have pre-ordered the game will be available from early February. So they're targeting it plus or minus a few days in the first week. So you'll be able to do that soon. You'll be able to reserve your names or whatever you want to do if you have ordered the 50 or 100 euro pack. I believe that's what it's available with. But that's that. And then the next thing as well is that the closed beta 2 date is going to be announced next week. It was on the announcement at the very beginning, like on the PM Diary at the bottom of it, saying the 18th of February, but it's been removed, so don't know where we can go from that. Maybe they got the date wrong or something. Maybe they didn't want us to know yet. Who knows? So the first major thing that we are going to discuss, which I think this was the thing that everyone was anticipating the most about this, was the cash shop. I mean, I don't know about you, Lydia, but the main thing I was worried about this game in terms of its survival was whether or not it was going to be pay to win. I think that's been pretty much everyone's concern since this game's been coming over to the Western side. So what do you think about the cash shop, the announcements?
Well, they did say in the PM Diary that they would not have the cash shop items, the Pale items, available for sale on the auction house straight away. Now, they didn't confirm that's permanent, but they did say off the bat they're not going to be tradable on the
from launch.
Yeah, which is really nice to hear, because it does mean that people won't be able to pay to win straight off the bat. They also said, and now this is something that maybe to a lot of people they don't understand this, or it doesn't mean a lot to people, and I feel like this is something that most people would have skimmed over and it wouldn't have really meant much. But if you're a KR player, then obviously you understand how important this is. They put this in red text so everyone knows it. You will not earn mileage by purchasing pearls, which is very, very important, because of course mileage is used to buy things that maybe are slightly more of an advantage to pearl shop items, because you've got things in mileage such as the tier, which allows you to revive without losing experience.
Yeah.
And, you can buy boss scrolls and things like that. So the fact that you can't get mileage by buying pearls is actually brilliant, because otherwise people would be able to just buy boss scrolls from purchasing pearls.
Gear up and get money through that ultimately.
Yeah.
I mean, so for those of you that don't know, a little bit of background on the cash shop. The main concern was going to be that they were going to sell stuff. Well, no. The main concern with the cash shop, for me at least, is on Korea, what you can do is you can't buy weapons directly through the cash shop. You can't buy armor through the cash shop directly. But what you can do is you can buy a costume or a pet and then sell it on the marketplace for silver. And then with the in-game silver that you've just made, you can then go ahead and buy a plus 15, a 60, whatever weapon you can afford with the money. So in that sense, it was pay to win, because if you dumped enough money into the game, you would be able to buy the best weapon you can find without having to do anything at all. But with the announcements on their cash shop, they've said, like Lydia was already saying, at launch, you're not going to be able to sell on the cash. You're not going to be able to sell cash shop items on the marketplace. I hope they never revert that change. But at the same time, then it might feel like they're alienating players that don't want to throw money at the game. That's the other concern that kind of arises from that. I don't know what you think about that, but I think, say for example, if you're on a tight budget and you don't have £15 to spend on the new Weeaboo outfit that you want your witch to be geared up in, you can't now save up in-game currency and hope someone puts it up on the marketplace, because you just simply, you're not allowed to do that. So it kind of pushes some people out who don't have the money to spend the what's it called, expendable cash or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that some people will be upset by this because some people don't have money to put into games, and they buy the game off the start, and that's all they're going to put into it. I can fully understand that, but what you also have to bear in mind is that costumes, as much as they are nice to have, don't actually affect your gameplay. As they have confirmed that they're removing the stats from them as well, which I think they confirmed in the last PM Diary, if I'm not mistaken, that stats will not be on outfits.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the UK version. Yeah, they won't have stats. So I don't know if they'll change that, but that's what they said, and that's the gist of what they were saying, is that we don't want them to have stats. So because of that, outfits, are just something that looks nice. So if you can't buy an outfit because they're not purchasable by in-game currency and you can't afford to buy them with real money, then you're not really actually missing out on anything, are you?
No, I guess not that they've had the stats removed. I mean, things like the ghillie suit, are they not going to make you lose your nameplate anymore? Do we know that yet?
I don't think they talked about the ghillie suit, like, as an item. I presume it will still have that because it's the main reason to have a ghillie suit, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
That, to me, is the best costume that you can buy in the game at the moment. So for
stat-wise, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, for any of you that aren't sure what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about. This ghillie suit here. It basically hides your nameplate. Is that the right one? Or is there a different one? No, this one. This is the one this is the one I want. Yeah, this is the one I want. This basically hides your nameplate from showing up. And if you lay down in the grass, you're pretty much invincible. Invisible. So it is really worth having. It's like the only outfit that I really actually want on Korea. But yeah, like, maybe if they've taken all the stats away, maybe your name still will show up on it. I don't know, because that was like almost the stat for it, kind of thing. That was the most powerful thing about it. But I mean, yeah, so on the cash shop, we've got, inventory increase size. I haven't really got any issues with that. Weight increase, I've got no issue with that either. You could argue that from having a bigger inventory space and having a bigger weight limit, you can then grind for longer, which is going to allow you to make more money to get further ahead. But it's a very minor boost. I don't think it's anything major. You can get horse armor, can't you? Oh, no, is it a costume? No, yeah, you can get... Oh, no, it's cosmetic. Individual cosmetic items for horses. So there's literally nothing that, like, gives you an outright advantage by the looks of it. Except for maybe... No, that's horse XP. I mean, there are XP boosts, aren't there, on the Miles shop. But like you say, you're limited to how many you buy. So in theory, if a player that pays no money still plays every day, he'll be able to buy the exact same amount as someone who dumps hundreds of pounds into the game.
Yeah.
So there's no problem with that. So what I can see from the cash shop is they've done really well with not making it pay to win, as long as they don't revert the changes 1 month after launch. Because they said at launch, they could just go, lol, joke, it's been a month now. We all have your money from the game, and here comes the cash shop bomb. I don't think they'll do that though. Well, like, I don't think they'll do that. Do you think they'll do that?
Oh, I don't think they will, honestly. No, I think it's unlikely they'll do that because they've got a good thing going, and from this PM diary and previous PM diaries, it's clear to me that they are actually listening to what we're saying, and they are being very responsive with the community. And they're quite aware that they have a substantial Korean and Russian player base already of English players that already know what they like and what they don't like about the game. So they are taking that into account and taking their opinions into it as well, which is really good.
Yeah, exactly. It will be... I think these guys are going more for the longevity of a game as opposed to, a cash grab and run kind of thing. So I think we'll be all right, personally. I'd be really upset if they ruin it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I reckon they're going to like push this game out for the long run as opposed for the short cash grab. Get everyone in, steal all their money, and run away and like westernize another game kind of thing.
Yeah, like the arcade thing.
Yes, pretty much. So I mean, that's mostly the cash up. I mean, we could go into a lot more into that and everything, but past me reading out every item off the list, you guys don't need me to do that. If you want to look everything that's on the cash shop that they have announced, just go onto their website, have a look. There's a nice little table on there for you to see everything that they've announced. That's going to be coming out and launch with the cash shop. I'm presuming they'll add to it as time goes on, but for now, this is all we've got. So after the cash shop, mileage store, we've talked about that, so that's fine. Let's see. What? This is one thing actually I'm curious about. So obviously on the Korean version, I'm not sure on the Russian version as well. You might be able to confirm this for me. So on the Korean version, when I log in every day, I get 100 mileage points. If I go here down in reward, I haven't actually done today, so I've got reward, and here's my receive reward for mileage. Now on the Russian version, do you get like special bonuses for like playing? What's it like? playing a certain amount of hours gives me more mileage, for example, or getting to a certain level gave me more mileage, I think.
You mean the achievements?
Yes, yeah. Do you get mileage? Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to do that on E, or if it's just going to be purely just 100 a day. That's it. That's all you get. Nothing more.
I presume they will still do the achievements, though they do differ between Russia and Korea and Japan. So I presume EU and NA will be different as well.
Right, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they leave it in. It's a nice little incentive on this game kind of thing.
It is.
By the way, guys, sorry, really quickly, for any of you that are asking questions, we'll do a quick Q&A at the end. If anyone's got any questions or they've got any points they want to bring up, yeah, we'll go through them then. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you guys. It's just, yeah, we've got to get through this at somewhat of a pace. Right, so the next thing we've got to go through is CBT feedback. So they've basically, when CBT 1 ended, if you were a good person, you would have given your feedback and said if there's anything you don't like, you know, what you want to change. And the thing is most games they ask you to do that. And normally they straight up ignore you and release the game as it is anyway. This game, they've really listened and changed quite a lot in the game based on what we've said as a community.
Yeah.
So, the first thing that they have mentioned is the leveling curve. So what they said is the experience from monsters will be adjusted compared to the CBT to lower the risk of running into this scenario too frequently. Developers are aware of the situation and they will keep adjusting the progression flow in the process. Additionally, we are looking into the possibility of adding additional quests to fill the gaps in between. Now, Lydia, what does that mean to you? Does that mean they've increased the XP or they've slowed it down?
I think that they really have tried hard not to make it obvious what they've done. What they're essentially saying is that we've made the best decision for the game.
Yeah.
Is what I get for that. So honestly, that could mean it's gone either way. It just means they've adjusted it to what players like. What they think will be best for the progression of the game. What really caught my eye though was the additional quests to fill the gaps in between. Now, of course, right now quests don't really do a lot in terms of experience. You don't get experience really from quests.
No.
But what's interesting to me is if they put quests in between, does this mean they're actually going to put quests in that will give you experience, or are these going to be quests that actually tell you to kill a substantial amount of monsters
just
to
for the
carry
sake
you over to the next area?
Yeah, just for the sake of it being there kind of thing. I mean, one thing I will say, when I leveled pretty much not through. I didn't grind level really. I did quests. I didn't run out of quests, ever. There are a stupid amount of quests in this game. But whether they directly help you to level, no, not really. They give you contribution XP and random crap. Which is fine, but I was just doing them because I was like, yo, I'd rather quest and get contribution points than just grind in a spot for 5 hours. Because that's not fun for me. But yeah, the leveling curve thing, they said it, like you say, it can go both ways. Because they said... To lower the risk of running into this scenario too frequently. So either they've slowed it down to slow down progression so the game lasts longer, and then they're going to put more quests in to fill the gaps because they've now slowed the leveling down, so you need more quests. Or they've sped it up, but they've put quests in as well because they still feel like there aren't enough quests, and the progression flow, they want it to be fast so you get to max level. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, guys, and see what they... see what they next announce, or see what the CBT2 is like, more to the point. Hopefully they'll have the actual XP, because in the first one they actually adjusted it, didn't they, to stop you from leveling so fast, because they didn't want people getting to like max level or anything. Okay, right, so that's all there is on that one, really. What have we got next? So the next thing that came up was the group play. It's that the party experience and the field boss drops have been addressed already in the previous PM diary. That basically, they increased the loot drops, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
For bosses and stuff. Many of you have asked for the so-called party loot bag, which allows players to conveniently split the loot based on categories during faster leveling. Do you know what that means?
I do, yes.
Go on then. I don't.
Okay, so early on in Korea, it's been removed now, there was a sort of, as they call it, party loot bag, which meant that the loot that you got, if you're in a group of, say, 4 of you, and you killed a boss, you could split out the loot between you, so you could give one person all the loot, or you know, if you were boosting someone and you wanted them to get blackstones, you could give all the blackstones to them.
Right,
and
group
that
loot.
Was how it worked.
Just like group loot kind of thing,
Yeah,
like in
like
most of... Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and they took it out, didn't they?
They did. And I could understand why they took it out. Now, some people in the community are very against this and say, it should have stayed because it was a nice way to give things to lower players. But I think what you really have to look at it is the feeding side of it. Now, I realize this is a long shot, but having this in the game does allow you to feed a player items.
Oh, yeah.
So, for instance, guilds, and not mentioning any guild names here, but guilds that are known for their ganking will most likely have a leader or an officer who's one of their best PvPers, and they can group up with them and feed them lots and lots and lots and lots of items and make them unkillable, which we really, really don't want to happen.
No, yeah, that is consent. I personally don't like. I wouldn't want them to put it back in. They've said in this PM diary that they're not putting it back in because it was removed for a reason on Korea because of the problems that it spouted up. They don't go into too much details what problems it arise from it, but I can guess it's probably people being fed, people abusing the system and all this, so that's why they did remove it. However, they do go on to say that developers are currently looking into different solutions that will offer similar or even improved version for players. One possible direction is to give users the option to claim an item before it will be sold on the marketplace. This is merely a concept for now, but we will keep you updated on the progress. Now, if that's true, does that mean I can say, yo, you know what I'm going to use as an example here? I want my fucking penguin, right? And does that mean that I will put down, say, like, I'll pay 14.4 mil for my penguin, and then when someone lists as a penguin, I instant win it? Is that what they're getting at? That sounds what they're saying to me. Like, I almost put get in a queue kind of thing. Say, yo, I want a penguin. It comes up. When I get to the front of the queue, I get that penguin automatically without having to run to the auction house and, hope that I snipe it off the auction house. So, do you think that's how it is?
I honestly don't have any idea what they're going to do in terms of that. And this whole sniping item system off the auction house, surely because of the fact that you won't be able to sell pearl items anyway, that wouldn't be of a concern.
This is true. That is true. However, at the start, you got to think, when a plus 15 weapon comes out near launch, everyone's going to want to buy that if they have the money. Kind of thing. So, like, other items are going to be in huge demand. Things like fishing boats will probably be in a massive demand at launch. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there probably will be some other items. But yeah, you're right. With the marketplace thing not being able to sell pearl items, then, yeah, there's probably going to be a lot less of a demand for it than there was previously. But, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see how that pans out, I guess. I think there will still be items that get instant sold, and you'll be like, oh, man, this is bullshit. Like, I clicked as soon as it became available, but there were probably, like, 10 other people doing it. Because, like, earlier this morning, I went to buy a penguin off of the auction house, and I clicked buy before it even got registered to sell, right? So it was still in that B stage. It has to, like, fade out and turn to P for you to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
I clicked it when it was still in B because I was just guessing. I was like, I think it's going to go about now, because that's the only way I ever win is if I just purely randomly snipe it. I clicked it, and even though I clicked it before it even changed colour, it still sold. I was just like, what am I meant to do? How am I ever going to win something on the auction house? Hopefully it'll be better on EU. We'll have to see what happens. I'm sure there's some form of, like, botting or something. I don't know how the hell they do it.
I think there's some way, whether it's a macro system or something that's allowing them to grab them.
Yeah, because it is absolutely insane at the moment. Okay, cool. Right, so we'll move on from the group play thing. So we're just going to have to wait and see if they announce, like, this new system and see how that pans out. So the next other major concern, we've got two big concerns coming up here, right? So the first one is the energy system. So they say, we introduced a new energy system already last time. However, some players raised concern about the exchange rates of unused energy into energy potion on the Korean service. We will see how this system develops over time and adjust the rates if required. So, the main concern for any of you that don't know on the energy system is that on EU, it's going to cost energy to do pretty much anything crafting based. On Korea and Russia, it doesn't cost energy to process, say, like, turn a log into scantling, or turn birchwood into birch plywood. Doesn't cost you any energy. And that was great. It allowed you to do that whilst you're AFK and whatever. However, on EU, that is going to cost you energy. So they said, we're going to give you this system where basically you can bottle up your unused energy and then sell it on the marketplace. So that there is some form of energy flow if there are people who are really into crafting. But the exchange rate, I'm not sure on the exact study. I don't know if you know, but someone told me it was like 100 energy bottled up gives you 10 energy potion. Do you know the numbers?
I don't know the exact numbers for it. Honestly, that would be better by the sound of it to me, because that means that you can't actually directly trade over all of your energy to another player, and it also means that you can't make masses of money off it, because if someone's not going to pay ridiculous amounts for 10 energy. So I can see that being a more logical way of doing it. Yeah.
It just seems a bit steep. 100 for 10. Someone's just said that I'm correct, so we're gonna go with that. This is right. Yeah, 100 for 10 potions. Yeah, that's what I'm just. So people have said that's right. That seems steep as hell. Like, I think maybe 100 for 50 would be a bit better, but 100 for 10 is ridiculous. Like, I'd rather just randomly dump my energy into a node than freaking, use 100 energy for 10.
See, I can see it not being an issue because of the amount of players that simply won't use their energy and will dump it into pots.
Right, just because they can't be bothered. They're just like, yeah, I've got no time for this. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Mind you, on game, like, even now, I'm saying this, I'm sat at 95 energy. I'm at full energy, and I haven't used it in, like, a couple days.
Yeah, that's 9 energy right there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I'm going to do right now, actually, is I'm going to use my energy whilst we're doing this. Because I feel bad now. I feel like I'm wasting my energy. And I don't even know where you turn it into, but yeah, apparently it's an NPC or something. You talk to an NPC and then they take it. So yeah, this is what I would do with my energy. I just go up to this node, Elric Shrine. I'm going to go grind there. I'll just dump all my energy in there. Get it to level 4 soon. And, why not? More drops or something like that. Like, why wouldn't you? Okay, cool. Right, yeah, so that's all we've really got on the energy system at the moment. So we'll move on to the next point, which is... Oh, yeah. The Karma and PK system. So... Right, let's just give a very quick rundown. This isn't as severe on Russia as it is on Korea. On Korea, world PvP, just like, oh, yo, I don't like the look of you. You're in my grind spot. I'm going to kill you. Right? That kind of PvP doesn't actually exist, to be honest with you. Because the punishment for PKing someone on Korea is so absurdly harsh that you just don't do it. I think it's... If you kill 3 people on Korea... You go into negative karma, and you can't go into towns, you can't speak to vendors, guards will attack you, and then you have to spend hours grinding your karma back up to then go back into town. So there's literally, like, no reason to PvP in the world, and that's kind of sad for me, because if someone's in my grinding spot, and I think I can take them, in a PvP game, I'm going to take them on. I'm going to push them out of my grinding spot, because, to me, that's what... You should be able to do that in this game, Like, I don't think you shouldn't be able to do that. I mean, okay, yes, fine. If someone's there farming herbs and they don't want a PvP, like, killing them, yeah, you're a bit of a dick. But even if the person's like, oh, but I'm a PvEer, man. Like, if you're in a grind spot on a game with open world PvP and you're taking someone's kills, you have to expect that someone's going to kill you. Because that's just the nature of this game.
Yeah, especially if you're in a grind spot that's quite popular, and you're in an open world PvP game. I mean, you must surely know you're taking the risk there of being attacked, and definitely, I played the Russian server and I've tagged up on someone before who's coming over to my area in Catfish because I'm like, hang on a minute, I was here. What are you doing here? And tagged up and attacked them, and I think that it's a nice system, and the issue is, and the real big problem that developers have when dealing with things like this is you can base it around a system where, yes, it is easier for people to PvP, and you can make it so fighting for land spots and stuff is easier to do and you don't get punished as harshly, and it's better for everyone. But then, of course, you have the problem of people then abusing that and just killing absolutely everyone for no reason.
Just being assholes, basically. Yeah, so there does need to be a control mechanic in place, which is really hard for games to work out. I mean, like, okay, so let's take the only other game that I can think of. I haven't played that many like open world PvP games. So like World of Warcraft, I've got 2 examples. World of Warcraft, it is simply, if you're on a PvP realm, right? That's it. If you're out in the wild, you can get killed. No rules, no negative penalties. That's it. And that works in World of Warcraft because World PvP isn't that prevalent in the game anymore. But leveling up on those servers can still be a bit of a nightmare. So one of their options I thought, which I find interesting that I haven't explored, is the idea of having a PvE and a PvP realm. One realm, you PvE, And you can only PvP in guild wars or when you're declared war on someone else. PvP realm, bloodbath. Free for all, you go freaking mad. You do what you want. That's one idea that I had that I'm surprised they haven't even mentioned that. And then the other system that I can think of was used in Arcade, which was you can PK anyone you want, but you get crime points, and when you get a certain amount of crime points, you get put on trial, which was a hilarious system for anyone that experienced it. Absolutely hilarious, because it was simply the worst system in the world for punishing PKers. Because 9 times out of 10, PKers were in massive Zerg guilds, and then when you got called to jury duty to judge whether someone goes to crime, there was a very large chance that 3 of the members of the jury were going to be Zerg guild players. So they were going to be like, no, we like him, let him off the hook, kind of thing. And then other times, if someone like me PK, they'd be like, lol joke, this guy's a dick, send him in jail. And then I have to sit in jail for like an hour. And okay, yeah, you can break out, but then you can't do anything with your time. So that system didn't work.
Yeah, no, the jail system was really, really bad for Arcade because it was decided by players. So simple enough, if you had an alliance of 3 guilds that were all heavily PK and ganking guilds, and, you know, the guilds all went into jury at the same time, and then a ganker is put on trial, they're all going to go, oh, this guy's cool, let's let him free. You know?
It was ridiculous. So, Black Desert Online have been relentlessly trying to come up with an idea. So, I'm not going to bore you by going through all the ideas that they brainstormed, because there are a lot. Like, this is a long post, and, you know, we could talk about this forever. So one of the ideas is, you know, they came up with a vendetta system, which didn't really work out because they thought it would be abused by people, so they didn't go with that. And then they came up the flagging system, you know, when someone flagged on, you could flag against them and you wouldn't get a penalty. But then they were worried about monsters killing the person with the final strike and not the player, so they didn't want to do that. And then the one they came down to, basically, is a system called the Bounty Hunter system. Now, the way this system will work is... Right, so, you've got... Say I'm here, I'm fishing... Right, we'll use me as an example. I'm fishing right now, okay? I'm chilling. I'm PvE and I'm not doing shit, okay? Someone comes along, out of nowhere, and kills me, right? The guy is better geared than me or whatever. I can't kill him again. I want to keep fishing. I don't have time for this guy's shit. But I can't kill him by myself because I'm not strong enough. So what we then do is I would put a bounty on the player killer's head and say, yo, I will reward you with 100k karma for anyone that comes and kills this person that just killed me. So then another PvPer will come along. They will find the player. They will kill the player. They will then get a token off the player, which they have just killed, and then hand into an NPC in a town. And from that, they then get karma rewarded to them. They've also said you have to go to an NPC to initiate the bounty hunter. So I'd have to leave my fishing spot, go to a town, talk to an NPC, and, you know, target that guy and say, well, I wouldn't have to target him. I don't know how they're going to do it. We don't know the ins and outs yet, but, you know, you'd select the guy that's just killed you and you go, yo, I want to put a bounty on his head because he's just killed me. And then, you know, they can go ahead and do that. It costs silver to put a bounty on someone's head, basically, and you can only do it X amount of times, apparently. And apparently you can only be flagged for a bounty X amount of times. But yeah, I mean, so that's the basis of the system, what we know so far. And from that, it will start a PvP system. Because when Player Killer 1 gets killed by Player Killer 2, Player Killer 1 might put a Karma target on Player Killer 2. And then it will just expand from there and grow and grow and grow. And then all of a sudden, you've got a very healthy PvP community of everyone killing everybody. And then, because they're all killing each other, they're all getting Karma rebuilt to each other. PvEers can happily sit there and fish and farm and whatever they want. PvPers can rip each other's guts out and, you know, the bloodbath can commence. I mean, what do you think of that system?
It's an interesting system, and it really depends on how they limit people into doing it, because, of course, the fact that it gives you a token, are these tokens something that only lasts a certain amount of time, or are these tokens something you can store? Because if there's something you can store, of course, you'll be able to stack them in your bank and just kill people freely and then hand in all your tokens at once to get your karma back, so... there's upside and downside.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Like, you could, like, bank them all up and then one day go on a mass killing spree and then just use all the karma that you've got from those tokens to just put you back into positive karma.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, well, I personally don't understand why my system that I just told you wouldn't work. The one where I don't know why they... I don't know if you think it's a dumb idea to have a PvE server and a PvP server. Because I would pick a PvP server. I'm sure you would pick a PvP server. Because you understand that's what this game is for. Whereas it leaves people who have zero interest in PvP and just like the sandbox element of this game to just dick around and farm and fish and do whatever they want and live in happy paradise land.
Yeah.
I don't understand why that'd be such a problem. Because if I'm on a PvP server and I get killed, I'm like, oh, I'm on a PvP server. Of course that's going to happen. Of course I'm going to get killed. I think the only thing they should limit is grieving someone. So I reckon, right, if you get killed by someone, you get a debuff, right? No, you get a buff, which increases the damage you do to the person that killed you by 5%. This stacks up to a maximum of 100% increased damage. So no matter how well geared that person is if they keep grieving you over and over and over again, eventually you're going to be able to kill them. Something like that. So, like, that way there's no such penalty for PvPing, but if you grieve someone, yes, there is a penalty. Or if you kill someone 3 times or more, you lose karma. Something like that. I don't know if that sounds absolutely ridiculous to you, but to me, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And I think something that they also have to bear in mind, and as much as it pains me to say this, and for me and you, and I'm sure many other people, such as Ryu, this is a very negative thing, and it does, you know, it's a bit sad to say this, but honestly, at the end of the day, they have to think about the average player more than the people that are going to get targeted. So, you know, if you take every streamer into account, of course, it's very, very difficult to protect streamers. I mean, at the end of the day, most people aren't going to get attacked that much, you know, unless you've caused some serious drama between you and another guild. The chances of you being repeatedly attacked, well, they've got to find your location, then they've got to, you know, actually know what server you went to. They've got to actually, you know, there's a lot into stalking someone. But if it's a streamer, it's very easy to kill them. But what you have to bear in mind is the majority of the population are not streamers, so they have to think about the player base rather than just streamers.
Yeah, to be honest with you, playing a game like this, I know 90% of endgame for me is going to be me trying to not get killed by PvPers on stream. Yeah. Like, that, I'm going to be hiding, I'm going to be running, but hey, at least we'll have lots of PvP content on stream. I mean, most of it will probably be me dying, but I'm hoping because I've got the head start and I can play this game a lot, I'm going to be able to at least be able to hold my own, you know, and actually, like, take on a person one-on-one, you know? So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Like, if people want to come PvP me, that's fine. What I wouldn't like is if 10 of them turned up at once. Like, to me, that's just, like, no balls kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, if one of them comes along and fights me, yeah, sure, man, it's a PvP game. Let's go nuts. Let's have at it. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of my, I don't know, I might actually, someone just said you should post up your idea on the forums. I'd like to post my idea up on the forums to see if it gets much hate. See people like, that's a fucking ridiculous idea. But I'm curious to see what they say. So that's the karma section. That's sort of like the short version of the karma section, what's going on with it. So next up, we've got the player-to-player trading. We've talked about this before, I think. I think we spoke about this last week, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think we need to discuss this too much, but basically, in CBT1, they had several items that you could trade with other players, and it was the same list that you can do on the Russian server. However, they're considering to have player-to-player trading completely removed, as they don't think it offers a benefit. They don't think there's any need to be able to... What can you trade on Russia? Like, on Korea, you can't trade. Full stop.
Russia, potions and food. That's it.
Yeah, like, why? Why, like, just...
Yeah, there's no need for that, yeah.
Because you can buy potions from a vendor.
Exactly. Potions are cheap and food is relatively cheap most of the time. So at the end of the day, it's a pointless way of having a new form of currency being able to be made. And there'll be some way that people will abuse the system. So you may as well just get rid of it entirely.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't see the need for player-to-player trading in this game. I actually, after playing this game, don't see the need for player-to-player trading in any game at all, ever. Yeah. Because it's just abused in every game ever. So, I don't know why they just don't take it out and use auction houses and everything. The only thing I would like, right, this is the only thing that would make it nicer for me, is the ability to remote access my auction house. So that I don't have to run to a town every time I want to buy something. I just like it so I can open up a button and access my marketplace from, say, if I'm here fishing. And I know that takes away some of the immersion, I guess, if you will. But at the same time, I can't be bothered to run somewhere every time I do it. Because if I was on, like, World of Warcraft or something, a lot of the times I go, yo, I want to buy this. And someone says, yeah, it's 5k gold. I was like, dude, I will give you an extra 200 gold if you fly over to me because I really can't be bothered to move. And they would do that. And, like, that was fine. I'm lazy. So the idea that I have to go to each town is just, it rustles my gym jams a bit. I feel like you were going to say something, but then you inhaled.
Yeah, no, I was going to bring up, just sort of off subject a little bit, just so the people who watch your video and watch your stream know this. A little bit off subject, but bit of information about the game. I can kind of give you guys an idea that pretty soon there's probably going to be an official Black Desert stream. So I just thought I'd give you guys a heads up on that. Just got a little bit of insider information there, but I can't really tell you my sources.
Are we talking today, or?
Not today, but
okay.
it should be coming soon, like an official stream from down for Black Desert.
So. Oh, sick. Well, like from the developers kind of thing we're saying kind of thing. Oh, awesome. That'd be fucking sick. Okay, hype. Yeah, no, that'll be interesting to hear. But yeah, I mean, so that's all I've really got to say on Players Play Training. I don't think we need it. You don't think we need it. Like, I hope they don't put it in. Server setup, no update. I don't even know why they put that in there. Like, server setup, yeah, nothing yet. Okay, cheers, mate. Next up is Learning Curve. I again, don't really know why they posted this, but okay. They basically said, yes, Black Desert's a really complicated game, and it's really easy to get lost in. We understand that casual players might feel intimidated, so take your time. So, basically, they want to... The only thing to add on this Learning Curve thing they've said is they are considering adding in-game... adding a quest to look at the in-game wiki page, which is monitored by you know, the fan base. So that I hope that wiki is actually going to be useful, because is that what button is it that you press to get up the wiki on this? I can never remember because it's all in Korean, so I never bother looking at it. But I assume it's when you open up something and it has information on all the items and stuff. I hope that is, like, if that keeps up to date and everything, we've got a full English version of that. It's great. I wish I could read Korean, but I can't, so I just kind of had to figure shit out myself or Google it. The other thing as well is they say, you know, they're gonna update the website content, so hopefully it will have guides and stuff on it. So yeah, that's really all there is to Learning Curve. Right. This bit, right, is probably one of my favorite bits about the PM Diary update that they announced. The localization.
Oh, yes.
It's awesome,
I like
isn't
this.
it? It's so cool. So,
yeah.
I'll go through this and explain this for you guys. We'll have a quick chit chat about it. Basically, what happens is there are 5 regions, okay? So these 5 regions are Balanos, which lies close to the sea, Serendia, which is a rural area in the center, Calphion holds the capital city, Media is a rough area with many rocky areas with partial access to the sea in the north, Valencia is sand, so it's pretty much a desert. I'm not hard sure how to pronounce this one. It's Camasvilia, maybe? Any idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, is the area of the elves, and Dragon is the habitat of the dwarfs.
Which we don't know where either of these are yet.
No, those two we don't know, do we?
Yeah.
So, basically, they talk a little bit, and they say, you know, we're going to have lots of voiced characters, and we wanted to, you know, get a really good atmosphere going. They're going to be mumbling in the background and all this. So, to make the lore and make it feel more immersive for you and everything, they've had different English accents applied to each region of the game. So, this is what they have done. Balanos and Serendia will have NPCs speaking US American English. Calphion will have British English people.
Hey.
Media will have Australian. Valencia will have Arabian, but in English. Elves in Camasvilia will speak Irish. And Dragon is going to be Scottish for the dwarves, obviously. I think that is one of the nicest touches that they have ever added to a game. I think that is so cool that there are different zones.
Yeah, I love that. I also love that we get Calphion as Brits, you know?
Yeah, it's quite, we get the capital city, you know?
Yeah.
Why not? Then there is one slight concern, is I'm not sure about you. Did you listen to the snippet of the voice acting?
Yes, I did.
It's not great. Is it really, realistically speaking? Let's just have a quick listen. Right, hang on, guys. I hope this is going to come through loud enough. But let's just have a quick listen, okay?
You, who do you think is the greatest alchemist in the world? It takes hard work and effort to become the greatest alchemist. It takes hard work and effort to become the greatest alchemist.
Now, I'm personally not too sure about it. I know what they've tried to do with it, but it's I don't know. It feels a bit cheap.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? Just a tad.
I mean, it's not the worst voice acting I've ever heard by any means. Don't get me wrong, but that to me doesn't sound very Arabian. So it sounds more like I don't even know. I don't even know what it sounds like. But maybe it's a test, and maybe we'll get better. I don't know, but I'm hoping that I hope to God, right, this is my concern, that they use a British person to do the British voice acting, or an Australian person to do Australian acting. Otherwise, what we're going to have when you go to Calfian is, alright, governor, how's it going? Shine your shoes. Like, I don't want that. And
no,
like,
I don't want that.
when you go to the Australian, they're like, g'day, mate, want some kangaroo barbie on a stick? Or so, like, I want it to be authentic and not stereotypes. So hopefully they'll get people from around the world who actually are from those places to be able to speak like that. That was... Someone said that was supposed to be Scottish. Really? Okay. That is awkward. Well then. No, that's Valencian elder speaking.
Yeah, it's Valencian.
Yeah, no, that's Valencian. No, that's meant to be Arabian. Yeah, it's Valencian elderly speaking. Yeah, that's meant to be Arabian. Okay, so yeah, that's all we can say on the voice acting. I just hope it comes out and it's not badly done, you know, because it would be awkward as hell. Cinematic intro is the next thing to go over. They basically said that the cinematic was taken out or changed because the storyline changed in the game and they rewrote the lore, so it didn't make any sense. So the developers are working on a new cinematic, which might be ready for launch. Which would be cool. I mean, I love cinematics. I love a good cinematic at the beginning of a game. It gets me hyped as hell. Like, when a game brings out cinematic before it's launched, like, I'm going to use World of Warcraft again as an example. They brought out the Legion trailer last year now. Amazing. Like, it gets you so hyped to play the game because cinematics are just amazing. The other thing is, I mean, this is the last major thing to mention, really, and then we're up to date, really, is the Castle Siege and Node Wards are not going to be live for the first 4 weeks, well, roughly 4 weeks after launch, they said when they're going to make it live, is basically so that everyone has a chance to learn the game, and find a guild and basically learn about it all. I mean, you haven't taken part in the Node War or Siege, have you, Lydia?
No, I haven't.
No, okay. So, like, even 4 weeks to me, like, that would be great, though, because everyone's going to have the same gear and everything. It'll be great. I can't wait for the first Castle Siege on the server is going to be ridiculous, and the first Node War is just going to be stupid as hell. But I can't wait. It's gonna, I don't know how people's computers are going to cope. Like, I seriously don't. I really, that's the one thing I worry about this game. Yes, you can turn it down to potato settings, but in mass PvP, I had to turn off particle effects. Now I can't tell when someone's killing me, and I just die. And that for me is not that much fun. So I hope, I don't know what they're going to do about that. I guess if you have potato, you're kind of screwed for mass PvP. And then, I mean, as you go through, they've got some little, like, pictures and, like, little artist pictures and stuff. But look at that new pet, though. Look how cool that thing looks. Holy shit, I want that thing. So cute. That's it. I think, is that new awakening weapon, maybe? I'm not really sure. That new town looks amazing. But there's nothing really, like, crazy in here. And that is really it for the PM Diary 2.2. Lydia, how long you got?
I've got to head off pretty soon, but...
Okay, well, guys, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask. We will go through them. We'll go through as many as we can really quickly. If Lydia has to go, I'll try and answer some. Yeah, so if you've got any questions, fire them at me, boys and girls. If not, then yeah, we will end it there. But I'm sure a couple people will have a few questions. Can you make beds and furniture without the cash shop? Yes, you can, Mortal. You, I can't show you right now. You just go into a town and there's like a furniture making shop where you can just craft, items and stuff. My only concern currently with the cash shop is the item that resets horse breeding count. If you can continually breed higher tier horses and sell them, reset breeding count, rinse, repeat. That's, yeah, okay, that's actually somewhat concerning. I didn't think of that. So... No, that's a good point. I didn't think of that at all. Yeah, so if they have 2 tier 7 horses and they breed them, it makes a tier 8 horse. And then they can then sell that tier 8 horse for like 50 million and bang, they've got money. that might be something worth bringing up on the forums if you haven't already, because that is actually somewhat concerning. If you could spam through that, that would be a very convenient way to make a lot of money without much effort. And I bet those tickets don't cost very much, those reset tickets. They don't sound like an item that costs a lot, but it has potential to make you a crap ton of money. Price estimates based on the Korea... right, so price estimates for the EU version based on Korea, e.g. costume prices and stuff. Seriously, anything we say would be pure speculation. We would just be stabbing in the dark. I would say, I don't know, what do you think, Lydia? I can't see a pet costing more than, like, £10 max, and a costume £15-20 would be realistic for me.
Yeah, that seems like a fair enough amount, but as you say, it's just speculation, really.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can't really say too much on that because we would just be stabbing in the dark. Seraph says, the problem with the WoW PvP system is that Hordes can't interact with Alliance and vice versa. If I got killed by someone and I message them saying, hey, I'm just trying to farm here, they might stop. Or better yet, hey, I'll give you X to leave me alone. I wish BDO had that kind of interaction. That's a good point. The problem with BDO is there aren't factions. You've only got one, you've got, like, there is no, like, Horde and Alliance in this game. So, I mean, you could always do that in this game, though. And if someone's trying to kill you, you could message them and go, yo, I'll give you 10,000. Oh, no, you can't, because you can't trade. Right, I see where we're going at here. I personally think, like, if you're in a PvP game and you're farming in a PvP spot, then you've got to be prepared to fight for it. Otherwise, you're going to have to leave and farm somewhere with better drops, Yes, I did see the Tame Panda pics. They look quite cool. Is there anything new about the lack of PvE endgame? There really isn't a lack of PvE endgame. Seriously. Since I've played this game, I think it's probably the same for you, Lydia. How much PvP have you realistically done?
Quite a lot.
Have you, like, do you do like an hour of PvP every stream? Because when I watch you, you normally just farming, chilling, whatever, fishing.
I pretty much do PvP. If if my guild's up for it, we'll go to the arena and we'll fight each other.
Yeah,
and it's a lot.
That's the limit of my PvP too. Because I'm so far behind. I think you're probably a bit behind as well, even on Russia, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I only fight my guild. I don't fight other people. No.
So, people who say there's a lack of PvE, I really disagree with that, because I'm PvEing right now. I'm fishing. Earlier, I was grinding. Before that, I was increasing my inventory slots. I also did a world boss, if any of you were here earlier on stream. I do guild quests with my guildies. All of that is PvE. I don't think there's a lack of PvE in this game. There are dragons in the desert. There's a dungeon in the desert, which we're not going to get at launch, I know, but we will get that eventually. I personally don't think there's a lack of PvE. I think there's a lack of structured PvE. For example, grouped instance dungeons or instance raids, but that's fine. This is a sandbox MMO. I don't need that, I'll figure out my own PvE to do, and that's fine. I don't think there's a problem with the amount of PvE in this game, personally. Do you think there's a lack of PvE or not?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so, I mean, will I upload this on YouTube? Yes, this will be going on YouTube. Can you be like a thief or a bounty hunter in this game? Not specifically, no. With the bounty hunter system, I guess you can become a bounty hunter, but that would only get you karma, I think. I don't think that's going to reward money. I think they said they wanted to avoid that. But ninja is kind of like, ninja's kind of like a rogue, I guess, if that's what you mean in terms of playstyle. I think at the moment everything is going to launch in EU. What? I have no idea what that means. Okay. How Zergy is endgame in groups? Is it just a spam fest or actual skill required? I haven't experienced it that much. I think the best person to ask that kind of question would be someone like Happy Ghost, who actually has a lot of experience at endgame on Korean Black Desert, whereas myself, I haven't done that much. I have done a battleground. I did one. I got butchered to fuckery, and then refused to go back in there until I have really good gear. So, battlegrounds with low gear on Korea is a no-go, because you do literally get like 2-shot. It seems laggy. That's my only concern. That is literally my concern for endgame PvP. I don't mind if it's Zergy. It's just if people's computers can handle it. That's my concern for this. But it's not that Zergy because guild v guilds have a limited number of people. It's like 50 v 50 or 60 v 60 or 100 v 100. So it all boils down to who has the better team, I guess, the better comp, who has wizards, witch supports at the back, who's got a berserker who can go in and crowd control the group to slam them down and knock out a few of them, stuff like that. What is that? Would you agree with that, Lydia? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm not personally interested in the massive open world PvP, like the guild versus guild anyway, so it doesn't affect me that much. I haven't actually been focused on it. I prefer the small scale, personally.
Yes, me too, yeah. I will definitely do the guild v guild, though, because it will be fun as hell. It will be hella fun. But I like small scale myself. It's a bit, I don't know, more skill-based, in my opinion. What's your favourite feature on Black Desert Online? Combat. I did a top 10. I actually... Shameless self-plug here. I actually did a top 10 video recently of my top 10 reasons to play Black Desert, and the number one that I had was the combat system. It's insane. What's your favourite one, Lydia?
I think I brought it up. I think I said that the graphics are probably the one thing for me that really wins me.
Oh yeah, we were disagreeing about the top one, weren't we, when we were going through like points to make the video? Yeah. But so Lydia likes the graphics. I like the combat. Well, I love the graphics too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, for me, combat's the best feature in it. It's so good and so smooth and slick. What graphics setting am I using? I'm on medium. When I'm off stream, I play on very high, but on stream I have to play on medium because of my CPU encoding the stream and everything. It still works. It still, it runs fine at the moment. I get like 30 to 40 frames, which is alright. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but you can only reset the breeding count once. That would make me feel a lot better if that was, that would make me feel a lot better if that was the way. Hang on. I don't know what that means, Prip roll. Where the accent are going to be. Oh, right, where different regions are. Yeah, I'll show you in a bit, man. Hang on. When does this game come out in US? First quarter of 2016. We don't have a confirmed date yet. Is the furniture and beds crafting 20 times more costly than buying off the auction house and shop like it is for Arcade? Yeah, a bit. It's not that much more expensive, but you don't really save much from crafting it yourself. You'll save a bit of money, but the amount of time you dump into it makes you wonder whether it's worth the amount of time to craft it. Like making a boat. Making a boat took me forever, and I could have bought one for 1.5 mil, and I feel like it wasn't worth it.
Right, because I need to shoot off, so...
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, alright, well, thanks for joining me.
No worries.
Alright, speak to you later. Bye.